I've been flying the DJI Spark and the Mavic for the last couple of months, and in this video I want to help you decide which is best for you. But I was curious, the Spark at $500 is still pretty pricey for someone considering their first drone, and I wondered how much these very affordable drones on Amazon provided you compared to something like the Spark. So I've got the Drocon 3 Bug here. This is $130. Throw in a cheap action camera that you can get for $40 to $100 that might even do 4K. And you've got some significant savings versus the Spark. But is it worth it? Let's talk about the Bug 3 for a minute. The first and most surprising thing I learned, there's no altitude hold. The first time I flew this, I pushed the up stick thinking it would take off and hover like all the other drones I've used. Nope, it shot straight into the air at an extremely impressive speed. I freaked out a little, pulled the stick back down, and the propellers turned off and it fell back out of the sky. Now, that's on me for assuming that a $130 drone is going to act like a $500 or more drone, but I had read the manual, and apart from the fact that you've got this little photo that shows the stick making the drone go up and down, there are no warnings about this. So if you end up with this drone, take it slowly. All right, so we don't have that altitude hold control. We also don't have a gimbal, an integrated GPS, control over the camera. There's no obstacle avoidance. There's no return to home, though the controller does offer low battery alert. And of course, there's no visual feedback of what you're recording. But what it does offer is a challenge. And this is much more in line with racing drones. It's a touchy and challenging drone to fly, and it can actually that can be fun, but it's not something that I recommend for beginners or someone that wants good photos or videos. Without a gimbal, without a way to control the camera or see your shots, it's just not practical and your video is not going to look good. If you do want decent photo or video options for cheap, I'd recommend looking for the older 3DRs or the Phantoms that you see on sale at B&H Photo from time to time. So now let's compare two drones with very similar specs, the Spark and the Mavic. Some are calling the Spark a fancy selfie stick and the Mavic a professional photo and video tool. I'll let you decide, but what I'm going to do is run through what I love and don't love about these drones and compare their image and video quality. First up is the portability of both of them. The Mavic is small, lightweight, and fits nicely in my camera bag where my 70-200 usually sits. The Spark doesn't fold up. I know that's a bummer to some, but it still easily fits in my camera bag, though it does feel a little more awkward. It is a good bit lighter, the batteries are smaller, and it can charge with USB, making it extremely portable. And when you sit it next to the unfolded Mavic, you realize just how much smaller it is, and that actually translates into some fun flying. I found myself launching this indoors and outdoors in environments that the Mavic just felt too large to comfortably fly in, and that's cool. Now, you trade off some features for that smaller size of the Spark. The Mavic is capable of 24 minutes fly time, closer to 30 with the new Platinum version. The Spark offers just 16 minutes in ideal conditions, and in flying both of these over the last month, I'm almost always done getting the shots I need with the Mavic and have plenty of battery left. With the Spark, it feels a bit more urgent. The Mavic is also faster, and while you can switch the Spark into sport mode, I have struggled to get those very cinematic looking shots when it's in that mode. It's just a little bit more herky-jerky. The Mavic in normal mode is fast enough and remains smoothly controllable. You do also sacrifice some range. The Mavic can be flown nearly 4 miles away. The Spark just over a mile when using the controllers for each. Honestly, here in the United States, you need to keep them both in sight at all times to be within the law, so that difference doesn't bother me a whole lot. It's important to mention that the Spark at $500 does not come with a controller. You control with an app on your phone, and that range is much more limited, just 100 meters. And while the Mavic is capable of this too, it's really not something I recommend. And you do see a difference in their external controllers, with the Mavic providing an LCD screen with some basic info, though everything important is displayed through the app, so you're not missing out on anything with the Spark, but I find it really nice with the Mavic to have my altitude and distance in a dedicated spot I can glance at. You also have a 5-way configurable stick that's replaced by a simple button on the Spark controller, and you've got a few additional customizable buttons on the Mavic controller. But of course, the Spark, as I said, can be flown without any controller at all, not even the app. That's called gesture mode, and it's not something that's available to the Mavic beyond asking it to take simple selfies. It feels a bit gimmicky, and at times I struggle to get it to do much other than take off and land in my palm. But when it works, it's fun to use, and it certainly impresses your friends. I do see this technology just getting better and better, and I predict some really fun toys in the future, and of course, practical applications. Let's talk about quality. Both of these cameras share the same sensor. Both of these drones share the same sensor. Although the Mavic is capable of shooting raw stills that give you more editing capabilities, it also offers a slightly wider fixed aperture, f2.2 on the Mavic versus f2.6 in the Spark, and of course shoots 4K video with 3-axis gimbal support versus just 1080 and 2-axis gimbal in the Spark, and those are at lower bit rates. In my testing, I certainly see an advantage with the Mavic in stills and video quality. The Spark isn't bad, it just feels a touch behind what the Mavic provides in quality. I haven't really noticed the difference between the 2-axis and the 3-axis gimbals. The Spark video looks just as stable and smooth, but having 4K on the Mavic is nice. You also see a noticeable difference in the control options for both photos and videos in the app. The Mavic not only provides raw shooting, but you've got color profiles, and you can customize the speed of the gimbal for a very controlled, cinematic looking shots. So the Spark. It's cheaper, lighter, smaller, and in some ways more fun to fly, but no 4K and the image video quality that's decent, but not quite exciting. The Mavic provides that 4K and a feature set along with some quality that I love using in my travel videos. That plus that extended fly time, while still being portable enough to bring along just about everywhere, is pretty sweet. I think the Spark makes a great first drone, but the Mavic has those additional advantages that make it worthwhile for the serious content creators that need to travel. I'd love to know which drone you would pick up and why. I do recommend the Fly More combo for the Spark. As I said, flying it with just the app alone is not the best experience at all. You can leave your comments right down below. The links to purchase these are right down below. They help with this channel. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the Spark, the Mavic, or that fun Bug 3. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe for more gear reviews, travel videos, and photography tips. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.